It all starts with a raw and ready slab of basswood, live edge with two inviting sides to choose from. I attack one side first with 100 grit sandpaper, followed up by 400 grit. And when it's ready and smooth, I begin my work with the pyrography. For this project, I'm using the Razortip SSD10 10-amp detail burning system, something I've had sitting around for a while and probably not used as many times as I should have, considering how much I've spent on it. So, to try to justify the price point, I thought I should probably use it again. Besides that, even though pyrography or wood burning is kind of slow and meticulous compared to some other types of drawing, like just a regular pen on paper, I do enjoy the process. It's satisfying to see the superheated metal tip of the wood-burning pen slowly sink into the wooden surface there, and it usually smells pretty good, depending on what you're wood burning, I'm guessing. I mean, obviously you can burn whatever you want, and maybe if you were burning styrofoam or something, you would get the subtle scent of cancer wafting up into your nose, but basswood smells pretty good, and I'm sure a lot of other woods do too. Most woods burn pretty well. Basswood is pretty popular. I bought this slab of basswood right there in your arts and crafts store. There's usually an aisle in most of these stores where they have just a bunch of woodcraft things, tongue depressors, or they call them like craft sticks or stuff. They have like little boxes, little tiny treasure chests, just various planks in different sizes. Some have routed edges, tree houses, maybe little wooden dolls, and basically just various wood projects you can work on. And I don't know if they have these planks there intended to be used for wood burning, but sometimes down there on the end cap or something they'll have wood burning kits. So it's up to you. Do what you want. I use these planks for wood burning. Basswood is popular because, first of all, the wood is pretty light colored and then it burns dark. And also the grain it has it's not too pronounced, and it's also predictable. Some woods have a very pronounced grain. Look, as your wood burning pen goes through the wood, as you're working with it, it sinks down and goes through the wood a little bit. It goes just into the surface, just a tad. And it can be a little bit unpredictable and frustrating as you go through the wood. Some of it will burn lighter and darker as you go through the different parts of the grain. So it's good when the grain isn't as pronounced, so you don't get splotches of darker and lighter spots. Of course, any wood you choose, I think, of course, can be worked with, and you'll get used to it. If possible, flip the piece of wood over that you want to burn on and experiment on the back to get used to it a little bit to see how it's going to react. But you'll be fine. And I'm using a pretty expensive wood burning kit here. I'll just tell you it was about $300. But first, before I spent $300 on a wood burning kit, I spent $20 on a wood burning kit. And then I spent $100 on a wood burning kit. And eventually I got my way here after I realized I really liked it, right? So you don't have to jump right in like that. I say try it out with a cheaper one. There are cheaper kits with variable temperature controls. Do some research. Variable temperature is nice. You can turn it up, turn it down. As you spend a little bit more, you can get these ones with the wire nibs. Those just tend to be a little bit nicer, a little bit hotter. You can even get little kits where you can design your own nibs by bending the wires and creating your own little tips and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Basically, if I had to give just some quick basic wood burning tips, if I had to, I would say go slow, have the temperature lower than you need it, especially for shading. That way you go gradually building up tones and lines instead of making big burnt splotches that you regret. You can erase with wood burning. You can use a knife and dig out burnt spots, or use sandpaper and sand things away. But yeah, you just experiment a lot. Get used to it. Do it a lot. You'll get better at it as you go. Now for the background of this one, I had been drinking some coffee, and I just wanted a way to separate the background from the foreground here. I didn't really plan it out at all. None of this I planned out. I was just kind of feeling my way along. And I thought, hey, what if I brush the coffee onto the background here, and it'll sink that back a little bit and bring the designs I made in the foreground forward even a little bit more. And I think it worked well. The coffee ended up being very subtle as I brushed it on there, it's seeped into the wood. Seeped, I think is the word. And it bled a little bit as it would go with the grain. Sometimes it went into the design I drew a little bit, but I like it. I like it a lot. Now this thing smells like, I thought maybe it would smell like wood and coffee, which is a nice rustic smell, but really it just smells like, I think, the furniture polish I put on it at the end to seal it all in there. But that's okay. It's the thought that counts. The process is nice, right? Maybe it would be even a nicer thing. Maybe it would have been even a little bit darker if I'd used an espresso or something, but I just used regular black coffee. I did a few coats. I went back as it was drying and kept adding a little more. And then, after it was all done, I used brie wax to seal it, and I did 2 coats of that, and then it was ready to go. And I liked it. It was kind of subtle. The coffee in the background, the designs in the foreground. I'm happy with how it turned out. All right? Got to keep doing these wood burnings. They take a little bit longer, but it's a fun medium. Similar to drawing, but just a slightly different. Obviously. Oh, anyways. All right, goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. Thanks for watching. See you later.